Welcome to the Red Card District. With us today is Elliot. You can call him that Yankee Gunner.
Yeah, I'm
As
here.
well as we're all here after quite a first couple rounds of football, heading into we begin today with the last round of the first round matches. And it's been quite the active, goal-scoring, free-flowing fest of football. What do you think, Alex? Has this been the best World Cup you've seen?
I'm too young to make such a comment, aren't I?
Oh, I'm saying it from what you've seen.
I mean, from what I've seen, it's been
What
the
you can
most
remember.
amazing thing.
Goals
How can
abound.
you be too young to comment on what's the best thing you've ever seen?
Because
That shouldn't be possible.
it shouldn't be possible. But you just know that someone's going to be like, you're too young, you're just a baby. Look at you, you bastard.
Yeah,
But
my heart breaks for you.
Yeah. It's been an amazing World Cup so far. Nothing can take away from that. Not even a Van Persie final winner. Nothing can take away from this World Cup being as amazing as it has
Stop
been.
manifesting those kind of
Okay.
ideas into the air. I just don't want to hear anything about that ever happening.
Okay. Well, we'll try to avoid that.
They've been a surprise.
They've been incredible. The Bastards, they've been
They
incredible.
shouldn't have been a surprise, though. Like, I think I, for one, will go on record saying I underestimated them. It wasn't that I didn't think they were capable of winning all
Look,
their
I wrote
games.
I wrote the preview for the Dutch team. I said if they get out of the group, they're going to surprise everyone. And look at this, they have. And I wrote that the defense needed to be stable, and guess what? They have. It's just such a shock to me that freaking Ron Vlaar is stable for Holland in the World Cup, and for Aston Villa, he's such a. Maybe it's Aston Villa's fault, but who knows?
There are plenty of weaknesses.
They've
around
bought
that team,
Sandros
so.
now. Probably Vlaar's going to get bought for something. It's going to be hilarious. But yeah, the Dutch team has been amazing.
Elliot, we just saw such a powerful match yesterday. Alex and I went downtown to this Nike viewing party that was fantastic. We had like 450 fans,
amazing.
something like that, just
People
all
were standing
around.
the place.
And it was such an amazing atmosphere. We saw so much from the American team yesterday. Just give me your thoughts on the match.
I mean, it's so hard because for me, I can't evaluate the game objectively without being obsessed with the last 30 seconds of the match. I mean, you just want to go back in time, grab Michael Bradley by the shoulders and say, for the love of God, man, just kick the ball into Rowe's head and get out of here with a win. I think it's also tough because winning our first two matches and qualifying after two matches, this World Cup would be an unqualified success no matter what happened after that. Even if we lost to Germany, then lost to Belgium, you'd still say it was a successful tournament.
You could say it would almost be one of our best in terms of being able to do that in a group like
probably
this.
so. It's something we've never done. Now what we've done by conceding that late equalizer, first of all, is we've upset millions of Americans who think it's wrong that sports should ever end in a draw, which I think is hilarious that that's even a conversation we're having. But
what is a draw? What's a draw?
I read an article by a hack in Boston who said that soccer sucks because the games can end in draws and we don't use our hands, and the opposable thumb and use of our hands is what separates us from the beasts. So there's no accounting for taste. But
Yeah.
So many hacks.
Look, what I will say is, we were terrible against Ghana and won. We were brilliant against Portugal for large stretches of the match. I thought we shit the bed a little bit after we scored the go-ahead goal. I think we started to, sink into our own half more and concede possession more. But we played the ball through midfield well. We did all the things we couldn't do against Ghana. We broke when they pressed. We created things in midfield. I actually think losing Altidore and not going with Johansson and instead sort of packing the midfield really worked in our favor. Johnson was excellent. Fabian Johnson. Jones was excellent. Dempsey was brilliant. I thought Bradley, who made two crucial errors in the game, was much, much better, though, than he was before. This was more of the kind of performance that we'd been told we should expect from the USA versus the Ghana game. And my takeaways from it are just that Portugal aren't very good, and we probably should have beaten them. And it is painful because I hate to say this, but I have a very, very, very bad feeling that we're not going to qualify for the knockout rounds. Hello.
Elliot.
Hello.
We were just talking
So-
about the first goal that we
Mhm.
conceded. But what you were just talking about Josie Altidore and his omission and what his loss meant to the team.
Yeah, I was just saying. I think. I mean, obviously, his loss I think affected us more against Ghana, where I think we needed that hold up play. We needed an outlet more. Against Portugal, I don't know that it actually hurt us because I think we played through the midfield better. I thought Klinsmann got the lineup spot on instead of going to Hansen trying to replicate the Altidore role. That's not really what he does. I mean, look, you should probably deserve to lose any match where you let Nani score or have any impact in the match at all. So, you know,
And it was just such a tough giveaway so early. I was telling Alex right now that the impact of that just on the entire match, because Portugal were so shaken. You know, they came into this game needing a goal or something early just to stabilize them and give them
A lot of
confidence.
old people, Nani.
To Nani, who is such a confidence player. So much
He
confidence.
grew from it afterwards as well.
Of course he did. You set him up with score a goal in the World Cup, see if doesn't put you in the right mood. So it really was the worst possible thing, but I mean the fight back was amazing.
yeah, I mean, I'm inclined to say that we played very well. We probably deserved to win on the balance of play, and I think what happened is you saw a little bit of naivete, in the way we conceded the equalizer. Ultimately, we were one Michael Bradley kick up the pitch from having won our first two matches in the group of death. It was really spectacular to see us play that way. I also thought Bradley should have scored that chance he had that was set up by, I guess, was it Yedlin?
Oh my God.
So you got to feel for Bradley because he's such an important player for us. It is so weird too. Bradley is the coach's son, right? He's Bob Bradley, the USA's former coach. He's his son. The coach's son isn't the guy you usually expect to make the boneheaded mistake.
Yeah, and that's never been his the
That's
way.
not him.
No.
He's looked really nervous to me this whole World Cup.
It does. It looks like the moment's getting to him a little bit. I mean, it seems like
Yep.
the nerves have certainly affected
He had a
him.
couple of blows with other players before the final mistake he made. He looked a bit shocked and shell-shocked.
Just quickly though, I mean, now that I'm thinking about that, I was very unhappy when he moved back to the MLS. Do you think if he had still been
No.
playing in Europe,
No.
it would make any difference in
No.
terms of his nervous?
No.
When was the last time he played matches this big? He
Doesn't
wasn't
matter.
playing
You don't
in Europe.
forget it. Just so
I know you
quickly.
don't forget it. It's just funny to think about that because no one ever thought that was what got to him. Because in all the matches leading up to the tournament, he looked like our best player and looked so consistent and so steady the way he's always been. He's always been a rock, and it's been tough.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you don't want to pick on one guy, and I thought he actually played okay, but I just, for all the resilience we showed against Ghana, and we did ride our luck a little bit, I think it's interesting how the timing of goals can affect games too, right? We scored very early against Ghana, and it seemed to totally change the way we played. Portugal scoring first against us forced us to come at them, forced us to play out from the back more and try to keep the ball more, and I think that actually worked for us. And then you saw it, the minute we scored the go-ahead goal, we started to play like we did against Ghana again. I think the occasion got to some of the guys a little bit, but ultimately the way we played in that game against admittedly a poor Portugal side is the way you want to see the U.S. playing. Not just sitting deep and hoofing it long, and it was great to see. I mean, it's certainly an improvement over what I've seen from the USA in previous World Cups, even where we may have gone further. I just worry now. I have a feeling that Ghana is going to absolutely spank Portugal, and unless we get the handshake draw with Germany, I don't see any other outcome of that game but us losing.
I think that's going to be the opposite. I think that Portugal are going to damage Ghana.
I certainly hope so.
Really?
I mean, just because of the goal difference, that's obviously for the American point of view.
I think the Germany loss made them look so much weaker than they actually might be, and
they did get bossed by the American team for periods of that match.
yeah, but that's because the American was better. You know,
Right.
the American team has increased in strength and tactical ability, and the runs they were making was so much better than what I've watched before, even during qualifications when I've been forced to watch Americans play at horrible times, you know. So I'm very, very impressed with the American football team, and I think that Portugal will either draw or beat Ghana, and I think that the US and Germany have to make some kind of deal, but that's not going to happen.
Now joining us is Travis. Travis, we're just talking a little bit about the USA match and what, just kind of summing it up and seeing how we felt about what it meant to our performance and what we think we're going to do now. You have any thoughts on the match?
No thoughts.
None.
No, I don't know. I think they performed well during the whole game, and then of course Ronaldo, Michael Bradley being an idiot or whatever. But I think I'm not too sure because everybody seems to think that we're just gonna beat Germany easily, which is weird because
Everybody.
Germany.
You mean Americans, around town?
You mean Dick Cheney? I mean,
when I left the bar that day, or what was it, yesterday? It feels like ages ago.
It was yesterday.
It's just like the pain makes it feel that way. But yeah, yesterday when I left the bar, everybody just had the general feeling that we're gonna get the draw from Germany or actually beat Germany. But from like what I feel is that Germany draw with Ghana is just gonna let loose the worst Germany, which is the Germany that's gonna score 6 against you in the first half, and that makes me afraid.
I mean, we have to pray that Germany doesn't do to us what they did to Portugal.
Imagine if
and then I mean, look, if you lose to Germany, I mean, pray it's a 1-goal loss if it has to happen, and then you hope that Portugal gets a result because they have a bigger goal difference that they have to turn over. So,
but imagine that it's Ozil and Podolski that knocked the US out.
I'm going to say it like this. I think the only chance we have to go through is the result in the Ghana-Portugal game. I'm convinced we will lose to Germany and possibly lose very heavily.
Yeah, I'm really praying for the draw in that match. That's obviously what we need.
We won't. I mean, that's the problem, though, right? I mean, we are not defensively strong enough to sit back, pack it in, and keep Germany out for 90 minutes. We're not.
And the thing is, they're risking it as well. They can't just go for the
match
draw.
Can't go for,
they have to win. They want to go. They want to top the group. They want to get through. They're not even guaranteed to go through yet. So.
Yeah.
Well, a draw does get them top of the group. So I mean, you could argue that like, I heard Landon Donovan, who I think is generally terrible talking on live television, but he did make a good point.
He's a hostage on TV.
He basically looks like he's the only thing missing is him holding up a newspaper showing today's date. But like, but if you ask me, like Donovan made one really good point. They asked him, do you think there could be collusion or a fix or a conspiracy theory that they would agree to have a handshake draw? And Donovan made a really good point. He said, two teams that both benefit from a draw, for whom that would both be a good result, kicking the ball around the midfield for 90 minutes, that's not a conspiracy. That's smart. Like, Germany benefits hugely from a draw. We benefit hugely from a draw. Taking the risk to win the game is not in either team's advantage. So it's not a conspiracy for those two teams to go out and kick the ball around the midfield for 90 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason for either one to go out and chase the match in that sort of sense. It doesn't need to be an open match just the way the other one does have to be.
You could argue Germany stands to lose more by going for it than we do because Germany's basically through and the only way they screw that up is losing. Where, it's a little bit different for us.
But, I mean, you got to think with their technical ability, they're still going to be taking plenty of chances.
I think that's the only thing is like, it would be different if Germany didn't know they could win.
Mm.
And if it's like a chance that both teams might lose, yeah, go ahead and kick it around in midfield for 90 minutes. But it's like going Mike Tyson versus like not an amateur, but like what's a boxer that's not really that good?
Why don't you name one of the many that he nearly killed in the ring in the 80s?
Yeah, and it's like
Spinks.
Yeah, Spinks had a nice fall.
Yeah, it's like if he goes to 12 rounds, he's gonna win. but you have the ability to just knock them out whenever you can. I think Germany's going to see that they can win, and then they're just going to go for it a couple of times, and if they don't score, then just kick it around in the midfield.
And we have to be really solid in the back. I mean, because look at what we did. Imagine we do what happened in this past match, and you have something like the Cameron slip up and just gifting them a goal in the opening,
Let's
few
hope
minutes.
that Germany gift the US a goal, though.
Pray for Neuer to throw it into his own goal, maybe, instead of up into the air.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough match against them, though. I mean,
it's gonna be great. That Thursday is gonna be amazing.
I mean, yeah, that day.
Yeah, you could argue that for USA fans, the more important game to watch is Portugal-Ghana.
There's certainly a case to be made.
Yeah, but would you want to do that to yourself?
No, but I got to tell you, I don't know if I have the heart for watching the USA again. These first two games have nearly put me in the hospital.
All right, I have a question for you guys. Let's move on from the USA match and let's talk a little about a few of the other groups. Moving on to we've seen a bit from Messi this tournament. You wrote a little bit about Argentina. Travis, why don't you tell us a little about what you think about Argentina and Messi's performance?
Oh well, Messi is he's not human. He's awesome. But no, I think it's a big contrast to 2010. Even though he did, like the 2010 World Cup was so weird, and the fact that he didn't perform bad, he just didn't score.
Right.
Like in the game against Nigeria, he had like 10 shots on goal, and we have like the best goalkeeper in the world. And he's just like every time Messi tried to score, he just stopped him. So the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, he's not playing bad, but if like the keeper is having the best game of his life, you can't do anything about it.
Well, people remember the numbers afterwards, and the fact that there weren't goals being scored is what everyone looks at after the day. Yeah, any of us who know football and watch those matches, Messi did not play poorly at all in that tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't really come up big against Germany, but they were playing against a superior team.
Yeah, you're being managed by Maradona against Germany.
Exactly. Maradona is not exactly.
We were talking about how Maradona
tactics
might have ruined Messi. Give him some cocaine or something.
Actually, I think Maradona did the greatest thing for Messi in the Argentinian team when he gave him the captain's armband when nobody else wanted to do it. And then that just pushed Messi to be the leader when he didn't even want to do it as well. But now he's like because it was always, let's get everybody to play together, or let's put Messi on the right, just get everybody to play together. Maradona just came in there like, look, this is the best player in the world. We're just gonna make this his team, and then you're all gonna be supporting Cass. And look, it's worked out since then. He's been playing better for Argentina. In the last two games, he's been their savior basically. Even though that's weird, because Argentina has like amazing attackers, and then all of a sudden Messi has to score a 90th minute winner just to get him through.
Yeah, I mean, saying that about a team that arguably has the deepest front line in the entire tournament.
You almost forget that they have Aguero, Lavezzi, Higuain, and
that's because Higuain is back.
Di Maria, exactly.
Di Maria and your boy.
And my boy
Palacio. I think he's there as a mascot. I know he got some minutes.
He's a mascot. He's a mascot. His hair is like a generational thing, right? So
he's the Fernando Torres.
I don't even think Fernando Torres is his own Fernando Torres.
Oh man, Elliot, what do you think of Messi and Argentina's performance?
I mean, obviously they haven't impressed. They're in a group that's basically a gift. They should be comfortably rolling through it, and I know, no game is easy in the World Cup, but that group is a gift. They aren't playing well. They're suspect defensively. They don't build the ball well through midfield. I mean, they have a lot of attacking players, but they don't seem to have a cohesive midfield in the way they build up an attack.
That's because they miss an attacking midfielder. They missed the Riquelme.
Yeah, they don't have a number 10, maybe a traditional
Messi
number 10.
has to drop back.
Well, but I don't even know if they really want a Riquelme now. They want a more modern mold attacking central midfielder.
They don't have a box-to-box midfielder,
No.
really. I think, yeah. Well, that's the other thing.
He doesn't run it anymore, though.
And Mascherano's just terrible now. I mean, he's not the player he was. I think the problem for Argentina, though, has been, you could make an argument, they've been playing in a group where they are clearly the strongest team, and they're going to have all the possession and go nowhere with it. I really think Argentina is one of these teams that's going to look terrible in the group stage, but then when they get up against stronger sides in the knockout stage and sides that have more possession and attack them more, and they can get out on the counter and they can run at people with Di Maria and run at people with Messi and run at people with Lavezzi and run at people with Kun Agüero, getting him behind the back. That's when I think actually Argentina will start to light it up. For them, they're not a team that's going to look impressive when they have a lot of possession because of the way they're built. They could be a lot of fun to watch in the knockout rounds because I could see them conceding goals, but I can see them getting in behind and scoring quite a few. So,
look at the manner by which they've won these matches, right? I mean, even though they haven't played well, they've put it together and gotten the result in the end. And in effect, their best player and arguably the world's best player.
Arguably.
Some people like to say Cristiano. Some people like to say Cristiano. Those words have never come out of my mouth.
Look, Ronaldo had a better season. But Messi is the better player.
Some people like to argue against you when you make that argument, but then
nobody thinks Ronaldo is a better player than Messi. Period. They're lying.
No, a lot of people believe that, and
they're wrong.
I disagree with them completely.
They're wrong.
Say to the Real Madrid fans, you might get beheaded for saying something like that.
Yeah, but the thing is that you're having Messi coming through at the end, like he's delivering the result. So they're getting the result. The best player is getting it done. It's like when you grind out a gritty 1-0, like sometimes what effect it has on the team.
Do you think? I mean, imagine how Ronaldo feels. His Portuguese team is one step below Argentina's team, and he's one step below Messi. So it must hurt.
Well, when you have Nani, and then he has Aguero, you just got to look up the sky and just blame everybody at that point.
The way that Argentina team is constructed, I think they're actually better off playing teams that'll try to get after them a little bit and try to take the game to them than against teams that play deeper. And so it'll be fascinating. I can't remember who they get the second team in which group. Do we know?
Yeah.
I mean, we do know if we have internet access. We know anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna pretend that I know.
Is it Germany?
No. Germany would get Algeria or South Korea.
No.
That's the playoff.
Switzerland?
It's Switzerland.
Right now,
Switzerland
or Ecuador. Switzerland or
Right.
Ecuador, right?
So, I mean, you could argue that again, would not be ideal for them. But if they get past that, I think I think they could give teams like Brazil a lot of trouble. Teams that have a lot of possession and can get caught on the counter.
Definitely.
Yeah, I can see that. And then they'd be facing who? Belgium, possibly in the next round.
Oh,
if Belgium could get through.
Oh my God!
It's Belgium against whoever is Group B or United States. Who knows?
If they face Belgium, they're gonna destroy Belgium.
I would think so. I think
look who their defenders are. That's gonna be so bad to watch. We're gonna have Jan Vertonghen just. Oh my God. Against Messi, he's gonna turn them inside out.
Yeah, the winner of Belgium and whoever comes out second of the USA's group. So
they don't even have a left back, Belgium.
Imagine if United States plays Argentina in the knockout round.
Oh my God.
We can dream.
You guys.
Hey, we draw. We face Belgium in the next round.
Yeah.
Beat them, and it's no one could really say that you wouldn't fancy USA possibly getting a result against Belgium. They've looked so disjointed.
Belgium sucks.
I don't want to drive
talent thing.
I don't want to drive a nail into the head of this optimism, but Belgium beat us like 6-0 in a friendly just like 3 months ago.
It was 4-2.
No, we got destroyed by them.
But Belgium really sucks though. Like, have you watched their last 2 games? They're like, they suck.
But they won both of them.
They do have some players with talent to make up for some of what they've done. Mertens is a very good player.
Every team has players with talent. If you
not as many as they do. Look, if you have guys like Hazard,
I would say that they're not a team yet. They're not cohesive.
Yeah, they're not a team at all. Mertens is like, I have PTSD from watching him from Napoli for what he did against Milan. I hate that man so much. But on that Belgian team, a lot of times he looks ordinary because his teammates just aren't Napoli teammates. They're Lukaku is bad in Belgium. Let's just admit that first of all.
Yeah, Lukaku has not looked good.
It looks terrible.
Because if Benteke wasn't dead somewhere, he'll be starting over Lukaku at this point. But yeah, they're not a team, and we can beat them if we just don't give away the ball like we did in the last game.
Well, you have to go through this to the stage first. So
Yeah, I know.
We can face them.
We're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but yes, Belgium are trash. They will not win this tournament. They are, like everyone called them.
They're the dark horse.
Yeah, they just have. They've still been getting results, but they haven't. They haven't impressed. Maybe they'll do what Elliot said. Argentina will do. Maybe they'll figure it out once they get out of the group stage. It's possible. I mean, they have the talent on the pitch, but I wouldn't put money on them doing it. I don't expect them to. But
I wouldn't even.
You got to say with. You got to. I mean, they have so much talent. You don't think any of those guys can turn a game?
No,
they seem to have.
Hazard hasn't had a big game yet.
I think they're underachievers. That's what I see.
They certainly are.
Well, they're young. They're young players. They're a team of young players that had a lot of international experience. This is the first World Cup for a lot of them as a team, or probably most of them. And I think maybe they're just not ready yet in terms of their maturity. There's a lot of solo artists on that team. I mean, there's a lot of talent, but a lot of soloists. And
that's been a problem for them before because I thought before the last Euro Cup, leading into the tournament, I thought they were one of the dark horses for the Euro Cup, and then they didn't even fucking qualify. They didn't even qualify. And so I was like, wow, these guys can't even qualify with all this talent on the squad?
It's because they don't link up well. I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
Just remember, you guys, though, I mean, we're worth remembering. The World Cup has been won recently by teams that started slowly. I mean, we've only seen these teams play twice now. Spain lost their first game in the last World Cup. So, you have to be a little bit careful drawing too many conclusions.
I mean, Spain have started really slow this World Cup.
They started really slowly. Yeah, but look, they're coming on now.
They're just coming on now.
They're coming on now.
They really turned it on against a game that they didn't need.
The Torres score as well. That's what makes it so romantic. He wins. Oh yeah. So
swan song.
I think the interesting thing is, the team that's sort of been eye-opening, I think, is France. I mean, this France team suddenly is like the team to keep an eye on.
They can play together. That's what they do well.
Well, they figured out the secret.
Giroud.
Yeah, Elliot, what about your favorite striker in the world? What did you think about Giroud's performance?
Well, wait, I want to know what the secret is. Is it not having
The secret
is really simple. Fuck Samir Nasri. That was the secret. That was
right. Get the team cancer out of there.
They had Ribery injured, and they could have called up Nasri, and he said no, never in a lifetime. And look at them; they're winning for us.
I'm someone who's always rated Olivier Giroud, so I saw this coming, but I'm his biggest fan. No, look, I mean, Olivier Giroud is a talented, skillful player. He needs guys that can run in behind to be as effective, and he's probably somebody who is a better second fiddle than first fiddle, if that makes sense. I mean,
he's a great complementary player.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great forward.
Amazing air hostess.
Anyway, look, that is a team that seems to be playing together, and I think the only thing that can derail them to some extent now is knowing what their best starting 11 is. Are they going to stick with Giroud and Benzema playing together because they've looked really, really good when they've done that?
Almost too good.
Yeah, almost, but they had to leave Pogba out to make that happen.
And you could just put him on, and he still looks great.
You're only allowed 11 players on the pitch, though.
We got to change that rule.
I know.
We got to make it so France has 11. They could take Lloris out.
Yeah. The less Spurs in your side, the better off you are.
It seems that way.
Are you surprised that so many of our Arsenal contingent are not playing, though?
No.
Not surprised?
No.
So do you think Sacco and Varane, they can't fit Koscielny in there whatsoever?
That's surprising to me.
Well, because this might be a little, what's the word? Anti-Arsenal? Yeah.
What are you gonna say? Varane is a higher upside than Koscielny?
Yeah, he's more calm. How about that? Varane is Thiago Silva, a young version. He's Cannavaro, a young Cannavaro. He doesn't have to recover a lot because he's always in the right place. Where Koscielny, a lot of times that we watch him, he has to recover. Or he has to cover for Purr or something like that. But with him and Seiko, they're perfect. Even though Seiko is old as fuck.
I mean, do you think it's just in terms of playing style being complementary? You know how it's never really worked for us with Vermaelen and Koscielny so well, and
Yeah, that's what I thought
right.
it was.
I mean, it seems like that's more the case because I feel like Varane might, you know, in terms of attacking senses and having that positional sense to know when to stay home. They must have a better understanding, right?
There is a better understanding. The other one is Debuchy over Sanya. You know,
Which surprised me a bit because I've never. I've always thought he's a fullback. He can.
The thing is, I'm surprised he's taking that so much better now that he's a Man City player. You know.
You know, he's getting ready.
Yeah, he's getting ready to be on the bench, I guess.
When you have that's like one thing I always hated about him. Every time that we attack, he'll get the cross. Well, he'll get a chance to cross, but he won't. And then when he does cross, you realize, oh, that's why he won't do it.
All right, gentlemen. Any more standouts from these opening matches for you before we get
Costa Rica?
Let's get to Costa Rica quickly. Joel Campbell and the impressive Ticos.
Campbell.
Well, can we talk about how Croatia is the literal dark horse in this tournament?
We will. We're about to get to that. That's where we're going to finish because we have that match coming up against Mexico and the Brazil match. So that's where we're going to end. But if you have anything to say about Costa Rica, Elliot, what do you think about Joel Campbell and their performances?
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because we see them in CONCACAF all the time, and I've never been particularly impressed with them. But I mean, they've been dynamic. Yeah.
I mean, they were easily the second best team in qualifying. Though.
Right, but I meant more that I've not been impressed by their football, just in terms of the caliber of the football. And I think sometimes what happens in CONCACAF is you play on these terrible pitches and you play under really poor conditions, and sometimes it just destroys the quality of football. Or you're playing in places where it's 85 degrees out, 90 degrees out. Costa Rica's been
right now in the tournament.
Well, fair point. But just the pace of the games are slower. You see teams like Honduras that will just kick you off the pitch, and the referees are terrible. Joel Campbell's been absolutely awesome to watch, and I mean, look, I'm not going to say he's the answer for Arsenal, but I think he definitely will get a shot to be part of the squad next season.
Are you playing the drums over there, Travis?
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah,
I thought it was building up to something. I thought it was
dramatic effect. They were. They put in a good shift.
They have risen to the occasion.
Absolutely.
Out of all the teams, they have definitely.
They look fearless.
The
they really look like it hasn't gotten to them. It seems like they've brought their game.
And we can't even accuse them of taking drugs because they've been drug tested after the match.
But like 7 players, which is pretty racist. I'm gonna put that out there. That was the really racist thing that they did.
Yeah, I haven't seen the numbers of the other teams of how many of them have been tested, but I doubt it was 7.
I mean, no one's testing Spain anymore.
Players. It's only supposed to be 2 players, and FIFA's rationalization was that they were catching up on the ones that they missed before, which is basically like we don't trust these players that they could have beaten all these teams regularly, which is pretty racist.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, the other thing too is it's not like they've been beating those teams the way we beat Ghana, where you ride your luck. I think they were the better side in both games.
Yeah.
They literally came out and they just said, all right, we have nothing to lose, and they played like it. And then they realized that they just can beat whoever plays. Like, what was it? Mourinho said after the first game that Costa Rica won't be able to get another result like that because blah, blah, blah. And then their manager was like very insulted by it. And then I was like,
fuck Jose Mourinho.
After they won that second game, I was like, just put the middle finger up at Mourinho. Just put the middle finger up.
Yeah. That's always the way you should react to Mourinho.
Everyone's reaction should be ever.
Absolutely. That's always highly encouraged.
So Joel Campbell's been one of the best young players at the tournament so far.
Can you name any
others?
I mean, there's been various players that have impressed. There's a lot of display. There's a big lot of the young fullbacks on display.
Yeah. How about the guys Holland, the Dutch team have had
Blend's been very impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's been a lot of there's a few good young players out there that have really been impressing.
And you could argue that France, Griezmann's been pretty good. Is Mertens considered a young player? I mean, he's been good for Belgium.
Mertens not young anymore. He's crossed that line. He's at my age now, isn't he?
Mertens?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dries Mertens.
Well, it's up to 23, I think. So if Alex is older than 23, then he's crossed that line.
I believe he has.
What is he, like 27, 26 now?
No. A girl at the bar the other day thought he was in his early 30s.
The relationship.
She thought I was in my early 30s, then she gave me her number. And then she told me
and
I
then
shouldn't have got more.
and then she never, and then she
You
never,
know, this is on the internet.
Probably because you say number like number.
But so going on from that, others in the Costa Rican group, we got to talk a little bit
How
about
did it
England.
end up about my age? Let's talk about something else.
Let's talk about England, and let's talk about other things that are disappointing. England.
My age.
Why
England.
talk about England?
I
they
feel like we
deserve-
nailed it. I honestly feel like we nailed it with our discussion about England before the tournament started.
Yeah,
I
we knew
mean,
it was going to happen. We even spoke about it. So, do they
Yeah.
deserve our airtime now? Do they deserve it?
No, I mean just a quick.
I think Roy got it wrong. I don't think he should be getting the praise he got. I think he picked the safest team. I
Did
think
he
he
get
brought the
praised?
right. I think he brought
It seemed like he took the right players, right?
he brought
I had no
the right
problem with the
players,
squad
but
except
started
for
the
Gibbs.
wrong ones. You know what I mean? He brought the right players, but then didn't
How
have the.
can you
guts
not
to
start
go with it.
Wilshere? How can you not start Wilshere?
Because
How
At
you
least,
can
at least not in the
defend
second
Gerrard.
match. I mean, to depend on to depend on Henderson and Gerrard, like that's never going to win any titles in
No.
a Liverpool shirt or any other.
You have Steven Gerrard, who's literally old as fuck, and you're starting him in a World Cup, and he
I mean,
cost
I
them
think
both
his
games.
date of birth is like 72. 70.
Like he literally lost them both of those games. The last goal in the last game where he has the ball back, which is like stupid because there's nobody near him, and he is so bad at being a football player at this point, and it bothers me.
Well, I just think also, he brings those young players, and granted, Oxlade-Chamberlain's injury reduced some of his options, but like, I think he could have benched Rooney for the Uruguay game. I think he could have.
I think he could have killed Rooney.
Yeah,
for the
I think he
Uruguay
could have started Wilshere. I think he could have started. I think he could have started Ross Barkley. And we talked about it too, you guys. We said it before the game, the Italy game. We said, instead of seeing the young players as people to bring on late when everybody's tired, bringing them on late when everybody's tired doesn't help you if Italy already has the lead. And that's exactly how it played out. Instead of being able to bring on that youthful energy when everyone was tired and get in behind Italy, Italy just sat deep and controlled the rest of the game. I just think Roy got it wrong. And ultimately, I think for England, this is a bigger disappointment than many of the English people seem to be suggesting, because there's a lot of talent there, and they should not be out of the World Cup after 2 games.
But maybe that's just it. Maybe they're not as talented as we see them.
I don't agree.
No.
I think they're more talented than Uruguay.
Yeah. It's a big thing that they have Roy Hodgson in charge, which is never made sense to me because he's bad. He's awful.
So what's the
Whoa,
solution?
wait a minute. Just wait 1 second. We can agree on this. If Costa Rica can beat Uruguay and England, Italy and Uruguay, then England should be able to beat at least one of Italy or Uruguay or get a result. So you can't tell me that if Costa Rica can beat both those teams, England can't. They underperformed. I know it was a tough group, but they underperformed.
Well, you
But
have
they
a
always
manager who...
underperform. That's what I'm saying. They always underperform.
Because first of all,
What
you
does it
had
say about that
Capello who basically defends for 90 minutes at this stage in his life, which always disappoints me because he's one of the best. Milan, whatever. And then you bring on Roy Hodgson, who was at Liverpool and thought that Christian Poulsen was going to be the answer to all of his problems. That's who you really hired. You hired the guy who took Liverpool to 7th place and deeper into the hellhole.
You also hired someone that took Fulham to the Europa League final, but let's just forget about
But that's
that.
Fulham. If you want to say, okay, England is Fulham, that's how you want to
pretty
put
much.
it. Yeah.
That's pretty much.
Well, there's some managers that excel at different levels, and Hodgson
But
is
who
kind of
is
the middle.
okay? Who
He's
is
a
the
Blackburn level
standout
manager.
in the last 5 years? Who is the standout English best player in the last 5 years? Ashley Cole.
A player
Well,
who-
Ashley
who's not
Cole
even
is like
in the
the
World Cup.
one of the standout world players in the last 5 years. He's been one of the best left
For
backs in
the,
the
for the
world.
last decade. For the last
For
decade.
the last decade, who's
I'm
his
sorry. I think we're being too kind. I mean, France had a lot of young players, and they said our best our best chance is going to be to go with this youth. We've seen other teams that have decided to make the shift to youth and move away from more established players, and it's paid dividends. And at the end of the day, Hodgson brought the young players, but he didn't have the courage. No, I'm sorry. Hodgson didn't have the courage to drop Gerrard or drop a Henderson or drop Rooney. Those guys didn't deserve their place, especially after Italy, and it cost him against Uruguay.
Do you know it's been 10 years? It's been 10 years of listening to Lampard and Gerrard in the field. It's fucking disgusting.
It's over.
It has to fucking stop. Okay, England, fucking stop it.
Your best players. I don't care if your best player is 13 years old. If he's better than Steven Gerrard, put him on the field. Even though that might be child labor, put him on the field.
I think Hodgson gets. Maybe he has a little disservice done to him just by the fact of that Chamberlain injury. It seems like he always has had some faith in Chamberlain and has been willing to use him, even if not starting every match. He would have played more. Yeah, and Walcott would have played as well, and that would have given them different. Having that available to him makes a big difference because we know that those players can really be game changers and have that kind of pace and that creativity to unlock a defense and really create chances, which is something I mean, they created some chances, but it wasn't like they were dynamic in attack. You could use. Think of those players, out there with Sturridge as opposed to Rooney.
Yeah, but the thing is, England played exactly like that fucking boring James Milner account. That's how they played.
Because look who their manager is. He's
the Owl.
boring as
Owl.
fuck.
Owl.
He's old. He's like 700 years old, and he thinks playing boring as fuck is.
I actually think England played better against. I think against Italy we saw some bright spots, and Sterling was really dynamic and exceptional, and they did get in an attack more. And last
they
20
did,
minutes.
But we're just bashing them now for the sake of it because it's England. I mean,
England have.
There's no way to get around it. Let's put it this way. Let's say Uruguay and Italy had dominated this group, and England just got beat by better teams. That's one thing. But Costa Rica are sitting on top of the group. So Italy and Uruguay must have been vulnerable, and England couldn't find a way to take advantage of that vulnerability.
So give me a little something about Suarez, guys. How do you feel about his performance and what he did? It had to be him, right? He had to be the one to take down England, right? It was in the stars. It was written. You knew it was going to happen. We were talking about before the match. It's like, yeah, Suarez is going to be the guy. It's going to have to be him. The combination between Cavani and him up front and for the first goal was fantastic.
I mean, it didn't make me very happy, but it was fantastic.
Yeah, I can't speak on this. I'm sorry, because there's only one word that I'm going to use in this area, so I'm going to let Elliot take over here.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I have to say about Suarez is if this precipitates his move away from Liverpool, then I'm perfectly happy with it.
Fair enough. He showed his class, though. I mean, those goals.
Well, yeah,
I
that's
mean,
what do you,
all right, class. Look, football.
He's an awesome fucking
quality,
player.
I guess.
Well, he's one of the best players on the planet.
He came in and made an immediate impact. He was the difference in that match.
Can we not talk about him today?
You really just don't talk about him at all? Okay.
No, I'm just tired of Suarez. I'm just tired of him. I'm tired of Liverpool. I'm tired of their owners. Just to stop this whole Suarez thing.
All right, well, let's move on to the matches we have coming up today. Travis, you want to talk a little bit about Croatia? We have my Mexico. And you want to talk a little about how they're a dark horse.
Yeah, Croatia has the best midfield in this tournament, easily. Like, I think...
What?
Bold statement? That never crossed my mind.
When they played against Brazil, they should have won the game minus that penalty. Before that penalty, they were controlling the game. They have Luka. Who do they have?
Luka Modric.
Yeah, well, everybody.
They have the best midfield, but I don't know who they are.
Yeah, I can't even name them.
Look. Right. Rakitic, Modric.
Yeah, and they combine well. It's not like they're trying to figure out their roles in midfield. They know who they are, and they pass the ball like nobody. Like Luka could pass the ball with his eyes closed and just an outside of the boot 80-yard pass and drop it in the feet of a striker if he has to. They're literally the best midfield, and minus that controversy at the beginning of the Brazil game, they should have won that game. And I think Croatia is gonna surprise a lot of people because it's hard to get the ball from them.
Are you saying they're going to turn over my Mexico here at the top of the hour?
Yeah.
Let me tell you about another team that's got a really great midfield. They play mostly in La Liga. You ever heard of Spain? How'd that work out for them?
No, because they have Javi Alonso, which is a horrible
Yeah.
defense. Because he's
Travis,
fat
be
and
careful.
old.
Travis, you're gonna get killed.
He
You're
looks
gonna
like a homeless
stop.
man.
Stop.
No, he's literally the slowest person. Javi runs faster than he does, and look. Graham from SB Nation puts it so perfectly. Like all he does is Hollywood passes, and besides that, he's absolutely useless. He can't tackle and he can't run. So what do you need him for? Just find somebody else who can pass the ball.
A damning verdict of Xabi Alonso,
Yeah.
ladies.
Bold statements coming from Travis.
And he's not handsome.
You
Damn
can
it.
unfollow him at.
Now you just sound like a hater. You took it a little too far. Man. Now it all makes sense.
I'm sorry. I
But
keep
yeah, so Croatia, I mean, they have
Is
talent. without
Mandzukic
doubt.
still alive, or did Song stab him enough? I mean,
No, he's still alive.
all right.
He's like a war hero. He's always there.
Man, I mean, he's quite the number
If
nine.
he's a warrior, what does that make Song? A deserter?
But he's quite the number nine. He's a very solid all-around central striker. You got to say the actual.
Alex Song or Mandzukic?
No, not. I'm talking about Mandzukic.
Alex Song isn't a footballer.
Alex Song does not deserve any time.
He's a family man. Go home to your family,
well,
Alex.
you know, he kept it the family tradition by getting sent off in a World Cup, just like
This
his
is
uncle.
very true.
Rodrigo
Yeah, but
Berra.
his uncle looks a lot better though. Have you seen his picture?
Yeah. He looks like a
His
lion.
uncle looks like like an actual lion.
He looked like a lion. But so they're going to take it on Mexico. You don't fancy Mexico though? What do you think of Mexico, Travis? You don't think they've?
Well,
You
Mexico
think it's going to be that
doesn't have
easy
one.
for Croatia?
Well, I would be on Mexico's side, but you know, there's one specific player that's missing from the Mexican national team, and since
Yeah.
that is rectified, I would not be cheering on Mexico till I see Carlos Vela.
Yeah, if it were a complete snub from them, I think it's
If you really want to
no.
see Carlos Vela, go to some brothel in Sociedad, Travis. I'm sure.
I would. Like, I think we would have fun. I think me and Vela would.
I mean, I would join you. I would join you, but I wouldn't.
Because we would be in brothels, and I would be Instagramming the whole thing, and then the next game he would score a brace. No, but I think Mexico's been very surprising, and they held Brazil very well.
Because they fight for each other. They fight
Yeah.
for each other in every imaginable way.
Because it's like, at first you don't believe, and then you're here, and it's like, well, we have nothing to lose. You might as well just go all out. And I think Herrera is amazing. He's animated, but he's amazing.
And I
yeah.
think that's where they're going to beat Croatia.
Yeah,
That's
he's
what I
like the
think.
Diego Simeone.
I can see them. I don't know that they're going to beat Croatia. I'm really nervous about this match, but I do certainly think they can go ahead and get a result. I mean, the draw suits them.
And
You know.
win will suit them.
The win will suit them even better. But I'm saying I think that they're.
I don't
they're
think
not
we
that
do
good.
draws in this World Cup, though.
There really aren't many.
we
There really aren't
rarely
many.
do
Just in
draws.
America? Yeah, I mean,
Draws don't exist here. Maybe in South America. Though.
Unless, Nigeria versus Iran or something like that.
Elliot, what do you think about this Mexican team? Have they impressed you compared to their qualifying campaign?
Oh, well, I mean, how could they not? They had essentially the biggest car crash in the history of CONCACAF qualifying. Of course they've impressed, and I think it's not just the results, it's that they've played really well in achieving the results. They overcame tremendous adversity in the first game with a referee who seemed hell-bent on preventing them from winning, and they got the goal they needed. I think I do tend to agree they could be in big trouble today because I think they will be solidly outplayed in midfield. But they've been excellent on the counterattack, and that may be exactly what it takes to undo Croatia. So I think they have every chance of getting a result today. I tend not to think it'll be a draw. I think this is going to be a really exciting game because Croatia have to press the issue, and Mexico can counter. So no result would surprise me if there's. I expect there to be a winner. But yeah, I think it's going to be a tough game for Mexico, but no reason to think that they're not going to do well again. Plus, I mean, the Mexican team, it's players that know each other, that come from the same league predominantly, that play in the heat and the humidity. They're familiar with this environment. Croatia has a little bit more of that European thing going on. We have players that don't play together year-round, aren't used to these kinds of conditions. It's their third game now in these conditions. They may suffer physically more than Mexico.
What do you
Hey,
think, Alex?
how awesome is it that all these European teams are being pansies and complaining about the heat. Wait, like as a Nigerian, I'm looking at it like, so this is too much for you. This is like natural weather, and it's so fun to watch. It's like all these European and like non-South American teams or non-African teams are basically over there just crying and dying over there. It's hilarious.
Yeah, so from now on, when the English media says, yeah, but could he do it on a cold, wet night in Stoke, ask them if they could do it on a hot, humid night in Manaus.
Exactly.
Well, they couldn't.
That is the new standard.
Fucking sucked.
Yeah.
They
certainly did.
Yeah.
They certainly did. Yeah, it's a tough task for Mexico.
Yeah.
It's a tough task for Mexico. I mean, those are two talented teams. You know, with one of those teams likely to miss out on one of those teams to miss out on the next round, that's gonna be a tough.
Unless they change the order of the group stage FIFA. But
Yeah, but one of those teams is gonna be out, and they might not be that might be a team that would have been strong to go through in many other groups.
Yeah.
So we're really going to lose out on a team that's really given us some decent performances, because you got to say the Croatian performance have been very committed. You know, I mean, even the Brazil match, like you said, could have gone the other way. You know, things did not. You know, they didn't get all the bounces, the dives, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But so there's one other match. Do you think Brazil are going to do the job against Cameroon, or Cameroon going to concede
Cameroon
16
come out of the
goals?
shades and they're going to.
Hey, I'm right here. I've been like the African ambassador for these.
No, you're not. You're barely the Nigerian ambassador. When Nigeria lose, I see your mentions.
What?
Man.
I'm like the biggest Oh my goodness! When we won, I played like my house is basically like the most African house ever. When we won. It was like the best thing ever.
Do you
If
think
Cameroon
has a
get
chance?
within 4 goals today, I'll be shocked.
That's tough.
That's
on
hurtful. That's hurtful.
I think they've got some pride to play for. I think they might
No.
be
You
able to
know,
keep it to
in the
like 2 or
old
3.
FIFAs, where you can abandon a match after getting so many players sent off. I think that's what's going to happen.
Let's call it a halftime.
Yeah.
Halftime. Abandoned.
That's gonna have to like give them all like super watches at this point to even get them to care about this game, because they were bad. Like Song is gonna come on and get sent off. That's how bad this game is gonna be.
They are easily the worst team I've seen in the World Cup so far.
Ouch!
Worse than
Ouch.
Honduras.
Look at England.
Honduras actually. He's got a point. Teams that have lost both their
but-
matches.
I mean, England could put 2 or 3 passes together before shooting it across the world.
That's true.
Yeah, but I think Cameroon might score first before England. So,
Yeah.
but no, they're bad. They're bad. They're bad.
Well, we've got a lot of action ahead. We've got these games coming up at the top of the hour. I think that's where we're going to call it for the day.
Yeah.
A lot of exciting stuff, though. We've got the last round of matches coming up. We'll be back with another podcast in
Very
a couple
soon.
days, yeah, between the matches again.
If you guys want to just do a broadcast where you put a heart monitor on me for the USA-Germany game and just post the statistics, that'd be fine.
We got to set up so it auto updates. It'll just live tweet where you're at.
Just
at-
live stream emojis, not
at
even
every
a
5
word.
minutes. Emojis.
Just emojis.
Emojis.
Okay. Deal.
Great. Well, thank you, gentlemen. We'll have you on again soon. And yeah, we look forward to some more matches and
It's
get
going to
ready
be
to
a
talk
crazy,
more.
crazy afternoon.
Wildness.
Yeah.
So
Have fun, guys.
yeah, for now, Viva Mexico, and hopefully maybe they can get a result
Viva
against
Mexico.
Croatia. All right, guys.
Alex looks really comfortable there. And very handsome.
He's very comfortable. He's very comfortable.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right,
Thanks.
bye.